What's up guys, it's Drifts and Lifts here. Alright, so today's video, as you can see, we have both of my drift cars sitting here. So I figured we would take the opportunity, because we have both of the cars out, to compare the two. One of the cars, the gold sedan, is a 150 wheel horsepower non-turbo setup, and the blue wagon is a 400 wheel horsepower turbo setup with a nice big whole set turbo on it. These chassis are actually pretty much identical. The gold car is obviously a sedan and the blue wagon is a wagon. But as far as Volvo 740s go, the chassis, wagon to sedan, are identical, and all the suspension modifications and things like that are actually the same on both cars. So I'm going to do a little bit of a walk around of both cars, and then we're going to take them with the GoPro and we're going to do some drifting in them and kind of show you guys what the difference of the two cars is. All right guys, so the first car we're going to be taking out is the gold sedan. So started life as a 1988 740 GLE. It was a non-turbo automatic car. We've done a lot of stuff, obviously. So both of the cars have a tremendous amount of weight reduction. This car weighs about 2,350 pounds. The blue wagon weighs about 2,450. The only reason this one's a little heavier is because the wagons are about 50 pounds heavier than a sedan, and this one also has a roll cage. But all the weight reduction stuff is identical between the two cars. So we got 9 kilogram coil over suspension, BC Racing coils on the front. We got a lot softer springs on the rear. I'm actually running stock springs on the rear with the adjustable BC Racing shocks on it. We have extended lower control arms in the front, with a strut rod that's extended a little bit to get a bit more caster out of it. We're running about 7 degrees of caster on this car in the front end. The angle mod setup on both cars is a cap lanky quick steer roll center corrector. So we will take a little look down here. There you go. Nothing to it. So you guys probably notice also we have an IPD front sway bar, you know, extended tie rods, extended lower control arms, and the front end setup is pretty darn good. Before we pop the hood, we'll go to the interior. Really just a bunch of weight reduction. There's really not much to it. We got a Momo steering wheel in it. Both cars are equipped with a BMW 5-speed ZF transmission. And this car actually has a 410 rear end in it. For the NA engine setup that makes most of its power up top, the 410 rear works really well with this short ratio transmission. One cool feature about the gold car here is it actually has a Volvo 140 front end grille on it. I figured it would be kind of cool to do something a little bit different than the usual as far as styling on this car goes, and I think it turned out pretty darn sweet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but I'm pretty big fan of it. Okay, there's where the magic happens. Really simple setup. Well, I guess not really, it's not that simple. So this car made 155 wheel horsepower out of this non-turbo engine. So it is a stock B230F bottom end with a really awesome modified head on it. So it's a 531 head built by my good friend Dennis Blom in Sweden. He ported it, put bigger valves in it. He did a little bit of work in the head chambers to get a bit more flow out of the valves. It's shaved 3 millimeters for higher compression, and it's got a wild ass cam called a NM K25 K26. I will mention, guys, you may have seen the video at the last track event. We actually lost oil pressure on some of the runs, and we ended up damaging the bearings. The engine still runs and isn't knocking yet. The amount of metal that was left in the oil was really concerning, and I don't think this motor has much life left in it for ripping around. Shout out to IPD. We're rocking one of their adjustable timing gears. This one has a shorter timing belt, 1 tooth less off of a Ford Pinto engine. It's tuned on a standalone Max ECU race. Shout out to my guys at Post Haste Performance. They do all the tuning on both of my cars. They did all the wiring and the installation of the ECU and that kind of stuff. If you ever need EFI tuning, any sort of performance stuff, hit up Post Haste Performance. They're one of the big sponsors of the channel. My girlfriend Ella helping me do this video here. Looking all cute. All right, so that is pretty much the rundown of the gold sedan. Now we're gonna go over to the blue wagon, my pride and joy, the car that I spent a while building. It looks pretty darn good, doesn't it, guys? Okay, so blue wagon started life as a 1986 GLE automatic non-turbo wagon, and now it is definitely turboed. Interior, We got actually, first guys, the only difference of the front end setup is going to be that the Blue Wagon actually has custom lower control arms built by my friend Jake. So as you can see, we have Heim jointed connectors there, and they're actually a reverse thread on one side and a normal thread on the other, so we can just adjust caster on the fly. So we got an IPD sway bar on this car as well. Same extended tie rod setup, and works really, really well. So on the interior, we have the interior is actually quite nice on this car. I spent quite a bit of time just making it look decent. So Momo Prototipo steering wheel. These are Recaro seats from an Evo 8. The only reason I really liked these and searched far and wide for them was because they had blue inserts in the middle. I felt it really kind of matched up with the setup I was going for here. As you can see, a roll cage and all the same kind of weight reduction as the Gold car, Lexan windows, cutout doors, and all that good stuff. One thing you'll notice is the Gold car has a stock e-brake in it. This car has a very beautiful Fish Racing Tech e-brake. So the link to these e-brakes is in my bio, guys, but this is one of the best hydro e-brakes money can buy. Just a beautiful piece, carbon fiber, love it. It is awesome. So let's pop the hood here. All right, so here's where the magic happens. We have a 1994 B230 FT engine, so that is a squirter block. The head is a ported and shaved 531 head as well. This one has stock valves in it, so it doesn't have the upgraded valves like the Gold car does. We are running a Volvo K camshaft. On the turbo side of things, we have a Sweden exhaust, tubular manifold, really nice, beautiful piece with the external wastegate. We're running a Turbo Smart external wastegate on it. This turbo is a Holset HE341, and it is actually upgraded compressor wheel to a 60 mil, and then it actually has a clipped exhaust wheel, 2,200 cc injectors from Injector Dynamics. We got an IPD, again, shout out to IPD. We have their upgraded intercooler. I think this is actually made by DO88. What else is on this thing? It is tuned on a ECU Masters Black, so EMU Black, also done by Post Haste Performance. They did all the wiring and tuning on this car as well. We got a catch can set up. We got an extra breather on the valve cover. The catch can setup actually drains back down to the block. We did like a extra bung on the block there. Of course, I forgot to mention the bottom end is all bone stock, other than the fact that it has H-beam connecting rods from our friends at Max Peating Rods. We got this sick classic turbo grill. All right, guys, so that is the rundown of both cars. I probably took way long to explain that, but whatever, it's all done now. So let's take the Gold car for a rip. See what you guys think. Guys, so I figured we'll do a little like 0 to 60 kind of run just to see how it performs in a straight line, just so you guys can kind of see, like, you know, what 150 wheel horsepower with such short gearing and such a lightweight car can actually be. You know, it actually accelerates pretty good. Does the job. Pretty fun to row through the gears in. It just flicks around, no problem. Alright guys, let's try this one more time. Second gear. Alright, so the first two runs at that other spot were pretty sweet. I do really like that spot, but there was like an alarm going off at a building. I don't know if my exhaust set it off or what, but we figured we'd get out there before anything bad happened. So we came to the classic spot. You guys all know where we're at here. This is the classic spot. I don't even know what else I would call it. Once I get comfortable in this car, it is just so easy to drive. Yeah, as you guys can tell, I do really like this car. Alright guys, so that was pretty fun ripping the gold car at this spot and the other spot. So obviously now we got the blue wagon out. Let's hop in and see what the difference is. Pretty big difference, but I'll let you guys be the judge what you think is more fun. So the power delivery of this car is obviously quite a bit different. This turbo setup is pretty laggy, makes full boost around like 4,500 RPM. So drifting a car like this is a little bit tricky sometimes. but it definitely makes it fun. So yeah, let's give it a go here. I used third gear, I believe, no, I think I used second the whole time actually. But it's going to be second gear in this car at this spot, but it's going to be a bit short. Third would be a little bit too long. So let's just see what we can do. Pretty fun. The tires I have on the back of this thing are nothing special. It's like a 195 random tire that I have, so you can really tell that this car could be a lot faster with a better tire. But you know, having the good weight distribution, I believe this car is pretty darn close to 50-50 weight distribution. It feels pretty good. I really enjoy how this thing handles. Go with a little e-brake entry. Hopefully that gave you guys a good kind of idea of the difference between a 400 horsepower red block powered 740 and one with only 150 wheel horsepower non-turbo. Both really fun cars. If I were to pick one to drift on the regular, honestly I'd probably take the NA car. The power delivery is a little more linear, it's a little more simple to drive, it's not so wild, and but you know, you can't deny how cool a turbo vehicle is. It's really fun making that much power, and you know, but it is what it is. So I think I'll leave you there, guys. Until next time, like and subscribe for busted Volvo balls. Peace out.